Good morning, good afternoon, good evening Internet, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Economical Rides. Hi there, this is just a special video which I really wanted to put out on a Tuesday to reach as many of you as possible. The actual video I had planned for today will now be coming out on Thursday, so please pop back then to see this week's scheduled regular video. Channel viewer Dave Ricketts, following my recent near miss, pointed me towards the YouTube channel Levey. There's a link to this channel in the video description, and the plight of Stephen Levey, who was far less fortunate than myself and has suffered a terrible accident for which he, too, had absolutely no blame, but unlike myself, he had absolutely zero chance of avoiding. I felt that Stephen's terribly unfortunate situation deserved more than just a mention, hence I've decided to dedicate an entire video to it. Stephen was out in mid-November on his classic 350 on the Pacific Coast Highway. He was at the head of the queue at a red light, waiting to turn left. As he stood there, a pickup truck was crossing the junction in the opposite direction. As the pickup truck was crossing the junction, it was T-boned on the right-hand side by a car running a red light. The impact put the pickup truck into a roll and onto a trajectory which meant that it was going to land on top of Stephen and his bike as he stood stopped at the red light. Stephen had nowhere to go. The whole thing happened so fast. Within a second, Stephen went from waiting patiently at a junction to having a pickup truck on top of him and his bike. I won't show the video here because it is quite terrifying, but here is a still taken a moment before impact. If you want to watch the whole accident, Stephen has a couple of videos of it up on his channel, Levey. He is a fellow motovlogger, and so he was recording at the time the accident happened. The driver who caused the accident died at the scene. It appears that the car he was driving was stolen. Somehow Stephen survived and was taken to hospital by helicopter for emergency care. Stephen now faces a long period of pain, trauma and recovery, and probably a lifetime of consequences from this unfortunate incident. He is, however, confident that he will someday be able to ride again, and he is eager to do so. Because the person who caused this accident is dead, Stephen now has a liability claim against a dead person with no insurance. He has had to employ lawyers to attempt to recover some of the compensation he is due. He is also facing medical bills because some of the treatment he received is not being fully covered by his medical insurance. I'd like to urge all of you lovely people to please pop over to Stephen's YouTube channel, Levey, and leave a message of support. Stephen has already mentioned how much it helps to know that he is not alone in facing these issues. He is a biker, a classic 350 rider, and above all else, a fellow human being, one who is now facing a difficult time for something he could not prevent. He had the absolute worst of bad luck, and something like this can happen to each and every one of us. I'm sure that should something like this ever happen to any of us, we would all really appreciate support from a community of like-minded folks at such a time. As a blameless victim in this instance, who is now facing a significant financial burden, Stephen has set up a GoFundMe page, which I have also linked to in the video description. I realise that these are difficult times for all of us, particularly at this time of the year. Financially things can get very tight, but if you can afford to do so, it would be a great help if you could also make a small donation to Stephen's GoFundMe page. I know we should be wary of many internet fundraisers, but I think in Stephen's case the situation is very clear. His accident has been well documented and has also featured on several TV news channels. It's also clear that it's going to be extremely difficult for him to get any compensation from the person who was responsible for the whole tragedy. We can't remove the pain and the trauma Stephen is now going to have to face, but we can help to remove some of the financial burden and make it easier for him to eventually get back to pursuing the hobby he and we all love. Thank you so much for taking the time to click on this video, and I really hope that this channel will be able to make a positive contribution towards Stephen's mental, physical and financial recovery. Stay strong, Stephen. We want to see you back out there very soon. Take care all, and thank you again for watching. Normal programming resumes on Thursday. Cheers.